One. What's up, Valhalla? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. I'm good. How are the vibes today?
Pretty high, pretty high. Took a little nappy nap, so I'm feeling good. My dog's sleeping next to me, so good
Nice.
day.
Nice. A vibe. A vibe. Just to kind of get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm Valhalla. Everybody calls me Nate or Val, depending on who they are. I'm from the Midwest. Um, like gaming side, I've been playing video games pretty much all my life. Pretty much all my life. Um, got into Apex around season 7, and I joined SYN in season 9.
Yep.
Yeah, season 9. And since then, I've been a part of the comp team. So I've done like a handful of small tourneys and some kill races and some scrims and stuff like that, which has been fun.
Yeah.
Um, I play exclusively Bloodhound pretty much on Apex. I do play other games, like Hunt Showdown and stuff like that. But yeah, and then like real life side, I was uh, went to high school, played football in high school, and then I was in the Marine Corps for a little bit, and I've since got out and moved on to a career in the civilian world.
Yeah. Was that a difficult adjustment going from that type of position to a more quote unquote normal lifestyle?
Yeah, but not in the ways you'd think, man. Like obviously, like I miss my boys, and like we stay in touch. We do a pretty good job of staying in touch, but like the harder part about transitioning, in my opinion, is one, it is like insanely expensive to just exist as a civilian compared to the military, where all that stuff's deducted from your pay automatically. So you have to be really good, on saving your money and having a good budget and having a plan, and then a backup plan, and then a backup to the backup plan because things always fall through.
Yeah.
So, but it's been nice. I'm closer to home with like my real family. I'm not rotating out of the country every year or so, so
Yeah.
it's nice.
You said you were a Bloodhound main, right? That's who you've always mained?
Yeah.
Usually I just ask people, because I know it's funny enough, we've had conversations where you said if anything you would nerf your character, but I usually start with asking everyone how they would buff their main if they had the opportunity to do so.
How they buff Bloodhound? If I had to buff Bloodhound, um, dude, he's already really strong. I don't really know how to buff him without completely messing up the character. The only thing I could think of that like you really have to manage as a Bloodhound, other than like things like positioning and stuff like that, because you don't have like any mobility assets,
Yeah.
would be when his ult is activated. You get that really loud, noticeable audio cue.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that you have to be careful about as a Bloodhound. So like I ult up early a lot because you want to do that out of earshot of your enemies, because if you don't, a lot of times when a team hears you ult up behind them, they all turn
Yeah.
and you get teamed out really hard. So that would probably be like a buff for him. That it doesn't sound like a huge deal, but it really would make a difference not being able to tell audio wise if a Bloodhound's ulting and where he's ulting from. So
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
or they, my apologies, Bloodhound's my apologies.
Do you know who I think really needs a buff?
Who?
Fuse. I think Fuse needs a big buff.
No, Fuse does not need a buff. We don't need any more legends with like damaging abilities, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about
Yeah,
Fuse. Just
I know you're
knuckle cluster, my mother load, knuckle cluster, Arcstar, mate. I'm begging your mom. I'm like, okay, brother, please chill. Please calm down. You don't have to do this to me.
That's great.
It's bad, dude. It's all bad.
I think you were here during my time here, but I wasn't. I didn't have my ear to the ground as much back then. So can you tell me how you ended up joining SYN?
Okay. So, this goes way back, kind of. So when I started playing Apex, me and Yowza used to actually work together because we were Marines in the same unit.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of knew Yowza, and he added me, and we played together, and I was a total shitter, as to be expected. But Yowza always gave me like a lot of ways to improve, and he helped me like develop as a player a lot.
Yeah.
And So me and Yowza were always in touch, and Yowza was like the only person I knew in real life who played Apex.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of update Yowza on my progress, like, yo, bro, just dropped my first 3K or my first 4K and all this, and like my first 20 and all this crazy shit. And I'd ask him, hey man, like I keep getting killed doing this. Like how can I fix that? And he'd be like, okay, well, have you tried doing this? Because remember, they're going to be doing this, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Yowza had brought it up to me a couple times, kind of passively, not really asking if I wanted to join, but like I'd do something in the game and he'd be like, yeah, if this was a tryout, that would be a failing of something that would be a failing criteria for your tryout,
Yeah.
And we talked about the stat requirements, and obviously when I joined SYN, even, I did not have the stat requirements. Him and Hippie kind of took a leap on me because I was so new to the game, but that's going to forward. So a little bit after I dropped my first 20 bomb, I'd say I was like getting a decent handle on the game. Season 9, it was my second season playing, so I kind of had my feet under me. I knew the character and weapon meta. I knew how to rotate. I knew how to fight. I kind of figured out the nuances of the game.
Yeah.
And I put together this montage. And I was like, had it all put together. And Yowza was the only guy I'd seen who'd made montages because I followed him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And so I sent it to Yowza. Was like, hey, dude, like anything you would adjust on this, anything you would fix on this, you know what I mean? Like trying to get his opinion because I like his montages are really good. We both know that.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, the only thing I'd change is changing your name to SYN Valhalla, like SYN X Valhalla, And I was like, bro, I'd love to, but I don't have any of your guys' stat requirements, and I just feel like I'm not there as a player yet. And he was like, dude, like, you just started, like, it's an investment, you know what I mean? We're expecting you to get better. If you want to get in, you can get in, we just, obviously you have to fulfill those requirements over time. And I was like, for sure. So that's actually how I ended up joining Synthesis at the time.
Yeah. That's interesting, yeah. And you... At that point, you were already good friends with Scott, right? With Sanal.
Yeah, me and Scott started playing together. Crap. So me and Scott actually have a long history. Me and Sanal. So me and Sanal actually played together way back in like the beginning of season 8, and we were both shitters, like both totally terrible at the game.
Yeah.
And we played together a bit, but at the time I was grinding ranked really hard. He was more into pubs, so we kind of split up for a little bit. And then I actually did like an LFG post on this, I think it was a Facebook group. Yeah. And Scott was like, hey, dude, like, I don't know if you remember me, but we played together. Like, I had a lot of fun. Like, we should run it again sometime. So I was like, for sure. So me and Scott started playing, and we both had improved. This is towards the end of season 8. Yeah. So we both had, like, improved immensely by this point. And, like, it was just, we had, like, a really good synergy. Like, we get along really well, obviously. We're both goobers, so, like, that's when me and Scott started playing together, like, consistently. And so since then, me and Scott, like, he's been like my duo. Like, I play with Scott probably more than anybody else, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, yeah. It's probably, it's even better that you guys have the opportunity to be in the same org together, too.
Yeah, no. And I remember that was something that he wanted to do, and he kind of threw himself out there, and I threw a vouch out for him, because Scott, like, he is a far better player than his stats indicate, and I will stand by that to the day I die, that stats and badges do not equal skill. Now, does it play some part in it? Sure, but at the same time, there are examples, and Scott is one of them, of someone who far outperforms, like, the raw numbers, He's really good at a lot of aspects of the game, and he's continuing to improve, because he also is not new, but he started season 4, so he's not like a day 1 player, So a lot of these day 1 players we see, and we're like, oh my god, they're cracked. Like, they spent thousands of hours in season 0 and season 1, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Not thousands, but hundreds, Think about how many games they have on you, how many scenarios they've been in that you didn't get a chance to play out and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Scott's improving immensely as a player still, so I'm really happy for him, and I'm really glad that he's in SYN and we get to play together still.
Yeah, I'm glad he got that opportunity. He was kind of in the very similar boat as you. He was a player that was better than his stats and just kind of needed an opportunity to grow. Another player that fits that exact same criteria as Coco. Coco is someone that I recruited for my CC team. Coco is another player who's way better than his stats. I mean, Coco's stats are pretty much around Scott's, around the same territory, and they're pretty evenly matched skill wise. Coco's a good player. He's definitely
Yeah.
underrated.
Yeah, for sure. I've only played with Coco, once or twice, man. But he's a lot like Scott in that, aside from being just an amazing individual, like an awesome person, they're both insanely talented at the game.
Yeah.
And the issue is that, like, if you make a lot of mistakes when you're first learning how to play, right, it's to be expected. But it's harder to make that up over time because you died a lot more at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but no, I agree completely that Coco and Scott both are like very talented players, very good individuals, and they fit in great on the content team. So
yeah, they've yet to reach their potential either. They still have a lot to go.
Yeah, they still have a lot of room to grow for sure, 1,000%.
What do you think that? Because you've been in SYN now for a bit, and you've seen, obviously, I mean, you're not like super active on Twitter, but you're familiar with other orgs and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think SYN provides for players and for the community that separates us from other teams?
This is kind of a weird one. I've heard a lot of the other answers from your podcasts because I do listen to them, and I agree with a lot of them, like the sense of family, a sense of belonging, like a community environment. I agree with those. But one thing about Synthesis that really does stand out in comparison to some of the other orgs, because a lot of those orgs are going to be able to provide you some sense of community. Something SYN has that is really unique is we have a very good core group of players. So we have guys like Loba and guys like Flight and guys like Yowza and guys like Aiden who are very talented at the game. And what that allows is it allows like a sharing of knowledge, if you will. Like you learn a lot by playing with those players and learning how to play at their pace, and you learn a lot as far as like how to, like the nuances of the game, because there's tons of little things that they can't explain to you, but they can show you. And from watching them play and playing with them as a team, you learn how to do those things. And so it lets you expand your skill as a player immensely. And a lot of that comes from having a very strong group of core, like pipe hitters at the heart of Synthesis. You know what I mean? And I think that's what has enabled Synthesis to take home a lot of these wins in the kill races and the tournaments we do, is that we have a really good group of players that are willing to go out and play with these guys and kind of take, especially guys like me with Aozi, a new player under their wing and show them how to be better at the game. So
yeah, we're very privileged. We have some of the best players on console on our team.
No, yeah, 1,000% on console. Synthesis, bar none, has some of the most cracked players on console, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a great team. I mean, we have the potential to really get really big. It's just a matter of honestly, I've always been kind of a firm believer that things like that kind of just come down to luck. I mean, some people blow up, some people don't. We definitely have the potential. It's just about whether or not that break comes our way. I mean,
yeah, and a lot of that, dude, comes from work in the fore end. It looks like luck because you don't get to see the work that people put in on the front end. And like you especially, you're like the kind of token example of this, is that you're securing sponsorships, you're recruiting new players with different backgrounds who play different legends, who bring different qualities to the table, and you're expanding Synthesis's reach in that aspect. Because a lot of people probably don't want to watch me play Bloodhound, for example, right? They think a guy sitting there hitting left bumper and getting wall hacks is boring, right? They don't want to do that. But the guys like Bamboozled you just picked up, or guys like Rally that play these different legends, it's like, oh, I'm a Bangalore main, I want to watch Rally play, who, by the way, great pick on Rally. He's an awesome kid.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
Insane.
And yeah, insane. And Bamboozled, you get to see some of the crazy crap he can pull off with is on Mirage,
yeah.
It's a lot of securing sponsorships and what Yowza does with community scrims and community with the private codes and stuff like that. Like a lot of that, man, is like work you guys are doing on the front end. It's going to set up for future later. It's just a matter of when that all kind of falls into place.
Yeah. It's like whatever you look for in an org, whatever your flavor is, there's something for everybody with SYN. There's something,
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only thing that would make it better is if I had a better work ethic. I think that's the only issue I'm lacking.
Oh my God, get out of here. You're lacking work ethic? I don't think so.
Yeah. take a little bit of a change of pace. Can you tell me about your earliest video game experience, like the earliest
Oh,
memory you have?
bro, I most certainly can. So back in the day, right? I actually came from PC. I originally started on PC when I was like way little, man. And my grandpa played the old school, like 2001, 2002, Return to Castle Wolfenstein
Yeah.
on his PC, and I would sit on his lap with this little joystick, and I would like pretend to be playing with my grandpa. We'd play through it. And as I got older, I got into gaming alone a little bit more. So like I played all of the old school campaigns of like Call of Duties 1 through 4. A super influential game on my life was Quake 4, because that was one that let me learn like how to play mouse and key and stuff. And it was super scary. And at the time, it was super scary because it kind of has like some Doom vibes. So like as I played through it, man, like it was horrifying. But like I'd push myself to go through like, oh, I don't want to go through that door because I know there's something scary in there. I know there is. But like I'd have to force myself to do it,
Yeah.
And I had to learn like how to navigate an area and how to read like a virtual map, and I had to learn how to, like how to kill certain bosses and stuff. So like it was a good learning experience for me that set me up for future games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Were you always an Xbox guy, or was there a console you had before an Xbox?
Oh, so I had a PlayStation 2 when I was like a wee lad, as Fuse would say, like a little dude.
Yeah.
And I played that. Like I don't really remember much of it except for like Medal of Honor. I played Medal of Honor, like Allied Assault, like a ton.
Yeah.
And then I actually got into Xbox 360 because my great grandpa's lake house had a Xbox in it, and I got into Halo 2 super hard, and I just loved Halo. I was like, oh my god, this is the best game ever. And I still am a hardcore Halo fan.
Yeah.
And so I got a 360. Like the whole reason I'm into Xbox is because of Halo. If it wasn't for Halo, I wouldn't own a fucking Xbox.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's understandable.
Halo is like what got me into Xbox.
I had a 360 actually. I liked the 360 honestly. I would take probably a 360 over a PS3. They're just a lot easier. I honestly I thought I was an Xbox guy, but when I made the leap to the 4th gen back in like 2015, I got a PS4 just because that's where all of my friends were on. I didn't really like the layouts. This is extremely random, and I'm just picky with things like this, but I don't like the layout of the menus for Xbox, and they confuse me and they kind of annoy me. So that's the other reason I prefer PlayStation.
Yeah, it's weird. The things I like about PlayStation are, one, the free online. You don't have to pay for online.
Yeah.
And two, the big one is I think PlayStation gets better exclusives, but I just like Halo that much that I'm willing to suck it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things.
Because like
I just have to tank it.
Sorry.
Go for it.
For me, PlayStation, the first thing that jumps off, I mean, other than the Spider-Man games are amazing. But the first thing that jumps off from like across all generations is that you can't get Ratchet and Clank on the Xbox, and Ratchet and Clank is an amazing game.
Yeah, that is true.
The thing with Xbox that I really like, though, and this is the thing that makes me want to get an Xbox, is Xbox Ultimate Game Pass. PlayStation has nothing that can compete with Ultimate Game Pass.
Ultimate Game Pass is a huge W, a gigantic W.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, brand new games come out for free on it within like a week.
Mm-hmm. The Battlefield 2042 is coming out for free on Game Pass soon.
Yeah, I was so mad because I had an Xbox One. I have it somewhere vaulted now, but I had an Xbox One that I was using for a bit because I was trying to get back into Halo and Gears. But I bought MLB The Show 21 when it came out brand new. I bought it for $90, and the next day it was free on Xbox Game Pass.
Massive L.
Yeah, I was very upset. Do you have, in no particular order, do you have a set of 3 video games that are your favorite?
Okay. Easy. So, not easy. Can I do a series, or does it have to be like a particular one?
3 series. Yeah.
Okay, so Halo, for sure, goes on there. Apex Legends is going to be on there, even though the game makes my blood boil sometimes. I do love Apex Legends, obviously. It's the first game I've gotten into, like this into. And then my third, man. I'd probably have to go with Dark Souls. The Dark Souls series is really good.
Another game that gets blood boiling.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, dude, I was insanely good at Dark Souls.
Damn.
Back in the day, I liked doing invasions. So, like, I'd go into other people's worlds and cuck them out of all their stuff. It was great.
You're one of those guys, goddamn.
Yeah, that's what I did. I played Dark Souls to invade, for PvP. So I'm really excited Elden Ring is coming out soon, so I can invade again. I need it. And then honorable mention would be Battlefield.
Were you ever a Left 4 Dead fan at all? That was a good series.
Oh, yeah. Me and my brothers probably played through Left 4 Dead 2, like from start to finish on hard, probably hundreds of times. Like, it's just insane. Like,
yeah. We're kind of winding down, so before I ask you just a bunch of random questions, what are your goals for the future, whether that be in video games or your personal life?
So my personal life, I'd like to tag all 7 continents. I like to travel a lot.
Oh, nice.
I've been to pretty much all over the world. All I have left is Antarctica and Africa. Yeah, Africa and Antarctica. And so I'd like to travel to both of those. Antarctica is going to be miserable. It's going to be really expensive for a really whack trip, but I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
And then in my gaming life, dude, I'd really like, so right now I'm on this like kill grind. According to Apex Tracker, which I know isn't entirely accurate, I'm the #1 Bloodhound for kills this season. I'm ahead by I have 1,000 something. The next closest guy is 800, so I'm way in the lead. So I'd like to maintain that if I could.
Yeah.
That's my short-term goals for gaming. As far as long-term, man, I really don't know. I'd love to see Synthesis continue to grow, get some good funding secured for the org and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's always what I've kind of said. It would be. I mean, I'm not doing it for the money, but I would definitely not complain if I could eventually start getting a paycheck.
Exactly. Yeah. Why would you not want to earn a paycheck from doing something you're passionate about and you care about and something you helped build? I'm not even a team captain or. I hold no special position with Synthesis, as you know, and I still want to see it succeed. Even if that means I don't get to be there for it, I'd love for it to succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you told me if I left SYN right now that SYN would blow up and all the guys would start getting paid and, they'd get the recognition they deserve, because a lot of them do deserve recognition, then I would do it instantly. In a heartbeat, I'd leave. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I just want to see the org grow and blow up, because there's a lot of really good, deserving dudes in there that are super talented, and if they'd been here 4 or 5 seasons ago. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just shutting down a couple people.
No, I was just saying that it just sucks some of these dudes didn't blow up, because if they'd been around maybe in season 0, season 1, season 2, earlier in the game's life cycle, maybe they would have got picked up by somebody. If they'd been just a hair better back in the day, maybe they would have gotten picked up by one of the big paying orgs now. And it's not a dead dream. It's still very much a reality. It's still something that can happen. Their communities can still grow. And I'd love to see that happen for all these guys, because a lot of these guys, it's what they want. That's not exactly what my end goal for life is, but a lot of these dudes, that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? This is what they want to do, and I want to help make that possible if I can. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's has the potential to go pretty crazy. So I guess just take some time and see how it goes. In a year from now, we could be sitting in a very different position. You never know.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
We're just gonna wind down. I'm just gonna ask you a bunch of random questions, and then we'll end it.
Yeah, for sure.
First of all, what is your favorite thing about Fuse?
My favorite thing about Fuse, bro, he's kind of a Chad, no lie. He's got some serious BDE. He's just out there playing his guitar.
He's got sex appeal. You can't cap.
Tugging cold ones. He's just a Chad. He's the type of guy that if my mom was dating him, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, what's up, bro? You know what I mean?
All right. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal? Oh, no, I'm a dog person, bro. I love dogs.
I'm a cat person, but I'll accept your answer grudgingly.
Yes, begrudgingly, of course.
who's your favorite musician?
Oh, my favorite musician, bro.
Like rock and metal.
Yeah, I like rock and metal. I like right now. I'm on a big like Motionless in White kick.
Nice.
Palais Royale, them for sure.
Respect. Is that metal music? I don't actually know a lot about
It's like shit, dude. It's so hard. It's technically rock, but it's like rock, metal, and blues had like a fucked up baby. Like you'll just have to check him out. I'll send you some music by him. Like Play Royale, like Mr. Doctor Man, Anxiety, Lonely, bangers, straight to the head thrashing realm. It's righteous.
Do you have a favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I like the Peaky Blinders a lot. It was really good.
I've never watched it. I've heard a lot about it though.
Yeah, it's really good. Peaky Blinders is really good. Dexter was really good. I didn't really like the ending though, so I'm glad it's getting revamped. Oh, but I forgot my all-time favorite, The Witcher, bro. I love The Witcher.
Respect. Me and my fiance are currently binging Ozark. I don't know if you ever watched Ozark. That's another really good show.
I heard a lot about it, especially from one of my buddies, Port, and the Marines loved it.
It's like Breaking Bad, but better.
No, okay.
You have a favorite actor?
Favorite actor? Right now, Chris Pratt. Dude's a legend.
Nice, respect. I'm a big Adam Driver fan. I don't know why, but I just love Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good actor. To close it out, let you tell me your biggest fear, so I can use it against you. What is it?
Oh, my biggest fear, dude.
Mine's dying alone.
Dying alone, huh? No. Yeah, as horrible as it sounds, like death is very, it doesn't. Like I'm scared of dying. Like I don't want to die. No one wants to die, but it doesn't bother me as much as I think it should. And I think a lot of that's from like being in the military. Like at some point, you kind of have to have this. I think for me, it was when I was like, you set up this like last will basically, and I was like, all right, well, this is real. Like this can happen, So you kind of come to terms with it. As horrible and dark as it sounds, like it. At some point, you do kind of just accept that it is something that comes with the job. And now with my civilian career outside of, the military, it's kind of still the same boat. Yeah. And so basically, I would have to say failing to protect people I care about scares me more than dying ever could, I would say.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's a reasonable fear. Life's difficult. Sometimes it's like, what's the point really? It's
kind of monotonous.
Try to take it moment to moment and stay out of your head,
Well, dude, I tell myself that life's about the people. I don't go to work for 10 hours every day because I want to. I don't do it solely to pay my bills, even though it's something I do. But like a lot of the things in life you do is upkeep for yourself and, to be a good upstanding member of societies, because at the core, we're a pack animal, humanity is. And so like we care about the people around us, and we care about our families, and we care about our pets, we care about, our spouses and stuff like that. And so like at the end of the day, if nothing else, do it for them. Is what I always told myself. If literally I could not find a reason to go on anymore, the thing is that, well, what about my dog? What would my dog do without me? He loves me more than anything in the world. I'm his whole world. Yeah. What would my brothers do without me? Like, we do everything together pretty much. So, like, whenever I struggle hard, that's what I tell myself is that, there's people in this world, no matter who you are, there is someone that cares about you. I guarantee you, you could be the worst. Jeffrey Dahmer, that serial killer that killed and ate all those people, his parents cried when he died because they still loved their son. He was still their son. Yeah. Like, everyone in the world has someone that cares about them. And so I'd encourage people to always, remember that there's someone out there, no matter what your mind is telling you, there's someone out there that loves you.
Yeah.
So.
That's strong words, Nate. Thank you. That's really, that's really wisdomous.
Something like that.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. This was a great conversation. This half an hour breezed by, so thank you so much for coming on here and chatting.
Yeah, of course, man. I loved it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, and we'll hopefully have you back on soon. For anyone who's listening, make sure you hit that like and subscribe so you can hear more of our awesome members chat. All right. Thank you both. Referring to myself in the third person. Hope everyone has a great day, and thanks again, Nate.
Yep, for sure, man. See you later.
Peace out.